In this episode of the Waboripedia, The Figure Behind the Ink interview series, where we sit down with respected Horishi or traditional Japanese tattooers from all around the world, we will be sitting down with Rico Daruma. Rico Daruma is an Iwate, Japan-based Horishi whose wealth of knowledge in traditional Japanese folklore has translated into a very diverse and powerful portfolio. Join me as we sit down with Rico Daruma and learn more about the figure behind the ink. Rico Daruma, thank you so much for joining.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you for getting in touch.
Awesome. You're based out of Iwate Prefecture in Japan, right?
Yeah, on the northeast side of Japan.
Northeast side of Japan. It's pretty cold right now, or is it?
Well, it is cold, but it's one of the warmest winter that I've seen since I moved over here. Like we have been having very little snow, what is very uncommon. Usually this is like totally white everywhere you look, and this year is not somehow.
That's interesting. Well, it's crazy because over here in the New York City area, it's super cold right now and it's snowing.
Really?
It's not snowing today, but it's snowing and it's like, what's going on here? So it's pretty crazy. All right.
Yeah, New York gets pretty cold.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, I'm very happy to have you here. You know, I've been talking to many different tattooers, many different Horishi. David Ramirez, I had him on recently. Rodrigo Melo, we talked to him. We interviewed him last year. Everyone's speaking a lot of great things about you. I love what you do, your artwork. I love how you do a lot of subject matter that perhaps you don't see that much in the West. So I think it's super cool that you have that repertoire, that portfolio to show. So I'm very happy to be able to talk to you and show the world.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, let's begin. Let's start. Why don't we start from the beginning? Why don't you tell us what's your background and how did you get involved with Wabori?
Well, I'm originally from Brazil, from Rio, and I started tattooing over there maybe like in 93 or something. And I just started at home, and in the beginning I was very young. I was like 16, trying to just being like a skateboarder and being into hardcore, and like, you know, all of that background. People have tattoos, and that was very fascinating to me, especially being a kid. And I don't know, it was later on when I moved to New York, maybe in 98. And everything that I look forward in tattooing here was in America, looking at American magazines and all of that. So after move over there for a little bit, get in touch with a lot of like new styles of tattooing, like much more developed than I used to have back at home. But it wasn't till maybe 2000, 2001 when I finally went back to Brazil for a convention with my friend David Senna. And I was like overwhelmed to see like some Japanese tattoos, like just walking around. And like, I was like, wow, what's going on here? I mean, I haven't seen this, you know, that's very different to what I got used to in the US. So much of a variety of styles and so many cool things to see. And I wasn't expecting that I would be so surprised, you know, like with all of that Japanese tattooing going around. And I was like, what's going on here, man? You know? So that opened my eyes. And to be honest with you, all of this Japanese tattooing was like a bunch of customers from Ivan Sazi, you know, like it was such an eye-opening to me, man, to see this, you know, like it really changed my mind about tattooing. And I just really got impressed and fell in love with that from that point, I think.
Awesome. And then, so you had that introduction back in Brazil, and then through Ivan Sassi, who I know Rodrigo, when we had Rodrigo Melo on, he also mentioned the impact that Sassi had on him. And then right now you're in Japan. So how did that happen? How do you go, you know, to Japan? And now obviously you got your own place, right? And you're killing it. So how did that happen?
So I was in New York at the time, and after being to this convention, I shifted the direction that I was taking. I used to do more like modern tattooing, a little bit more new school. I come from there. So just start getting into Japanese tattoos, start to research some more. There was a time that Kinokuniya came to New York, so we start to get access to those books and start to really see ukiyo-e and all of that stuff, man. And that was incredible. And then I started coming to Japan to visit Shion and getting in touch with that. But it wasn't till maybe 2004 when we got together. She was kind of like thinking to get out of Japan, try to go travel around the world. And we got together and I was thinking, man, I want to just go to Japan. I just like love to be here. Every time I come here, it was amazing. So I convinced her to come back and everything started from there, you know.
Nice, nice. And now we have your shop in Iwate. You're killing it with all sorts of, again, just different subject matter and stuff. It's awesome. Did you like? I know we always have like these pre-canned questions, and I ask about influences and inspirations and all that sort of stuff. So maybe I'll jump ahead a little bit, but because I look at your tattoos and they're awesome. They're powerful. They're beautiful. Again, you cover
Thank you.
such a wide gamut of different subject matter and types of bodysuits. So, like, where did that inspiration or education or whatever you want to call it came from?
Oh, it just comes from ukiyo-e, from looking at all of that stuff that these people were drawing back in the days. It was amazing. I feel like nowadays we are so limited compared to those
Yeah.
guys back then. Like we have so much more like technology, but I don't know. Are we really taking the next step any further? I don't know. But when it comes to the different subjects, I guess when a customer come to get a tattoo, unless they have something in mind that they already want, of course I'll go with that. But a lot of times I hear that people like I want to have something that hasn't been done. I want to have something unique. I want to have something new. So I try to open up like two ideas, just show a bunch of ideas around till I see like, okay, this guy like more of a god kind of thing. This guy likes more kind of a ninja kind of thing, or more of a hero. So I'll kind of like just try to read the customer and see where it takes, like I'm not much stuck. Like I want to do this. I want the customer to be happy. Then that's
Good.
what I really.
Good. Awesome.
So talking about those things, like we end up like reaching to some not so famous characters and more rare stuff. I'm glad. I'm just lucky, man. People open minded.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Cool. All right, so I'll sneak this question in here. It's a little bit off topic, but I know you do some Tebori, right? So I don't know if you want to speak a little bit about the Tebori work that you do.
Yeah, I mean, there was one time after being in Japan, then after visiting some people and knowing some people, and of course visiting people that were doing Tebori, I started to have just an interest to see what's about. And this was exactly just the right timing when one of Shion's customer, she came with her husband and he just wanted to get a small tattoo, but I see that he really likes tattoo. But at the time, he just came for something small. And then I talked to him, hey man, I'm interested to try this Tebori thing. Like, I don't know if this is gonna go any good or not, but I need to try on somehow. Now, if you're willing to let me try on you, like I'll be more than happy to do. If the worst thing happen, I'll fix the machine later on because I know how to do machine. But I didn't have to do that. I just used machine for the outlining, and little by little, I just started to put the Tebori together. It took me a long time, of course, and I started from scratch. Of course, I had like some ideas from friends and like I seen them doing, but I didn't have any formal training or anything. So I just try it out. And just to try a little bit, I don't think I can really understand things. So at first I say, okay, let's do the back of it, just did the image in the back, and later on we progressed to the background of the back, and then it was going good and he was happy with. So I'm like, okay, man, how about we keep on going to whatever you want? We did the arms, we did the chest, the moon and body cut, and bring down the legs. End up being a full suit, and that was good because I could definitely experience tattooing, Tebori tattooing this way, you know. But I feel that I still feel more comfortable using machine,
And
you know. Uh, Tebori, it's fun because I think it does slow down the time, you know, so you have more time to think about something, even the composition. You can't put so much together. And I just like the how machine work can be done, you know. And being in the countryside sometimes it's not like in the city how I used to be in New York when you have a lot of customers and stuff. So take time. And I see that in Iwate, people don't have that much money like in other places. So to do Tebori will not only take longer, but will end up being more expensive. So I don't have many people asking about. But when they do, usually just for small tattoos or something, just a little memory. But usually from foreign people coming to get something tattooed and they want to have a little memory from Japan, then I can do it. But it's not my main thing. I'll leave that for the real guys, the professionals, you know. I'll just do it more like, I don't know, enthusiast about it.
That's hilarious. That's great. Well, we'll look at a Tebori suit later, which is just awesome. So it just blows my mind, right? What you just described, your experience with Tebori and how great that suit came out. So we'll see it in a bit. I think it also makes sense what you said about the machine, right? Because I know people, obviously in Japan, but then also in the West, there's a very big interest in Tebori because of the tradition and the culture and all that stuff. But what they don't understand is even in Japan, there's a lot of people, masters, right? People with great skills that actually just do machine because for a host of reasons, right? The time efficiencies, the resources like money that you mentioned, right? And you know, it's just a matter of preference. So I just wanted to throw that in there because I know you did some theory work and I just wanted to pick your brain about it. That's cool. Awesome. All right. Well, shifting gears here super dramatically, but we talked about how you've done a bunch of different subject matter. Do you have a favorite subject to tattoo?
Not really. Not really. I think there's so many that I like. I cannot pick one. But when it comes down to it, I think what I like the most about Japanese tattooing is the composition with the background, you know? Like the flow that gives to the background gives a lot of flow to the subject. And of course, like we can make things look a little bit more happy or a little bit more intense, depends on what's going on. And just looking at not only the ukiyo-e, but looking at Japanese art in general, they all relate to nature. And the part of nature that can be done in tattooing is exactly the background, you know? Like I love drawing rocks, man. Rocks and the winds and the swirls, the spirals, the water, all of that stuff, like really like enhance the subject so much. And I just try to not like to reproduce nature scenes in tattoo because that would be like too much emphasis on the background, but like try to pass somehow like the feeling that you get from being in nature. Sometimes like you walk down the mountains and you get like some strong wind and it's like, wow, the cloud comes through and it's like, oh, you lose your sight. And then you see like the grass like moving around and the trees bouncing, and try to represent somehow this feeling behind a tattoo, you know, whenever the tattoo is a little bit more like a drastic scene. A lot of them is like on the climax of the story, so you can put all of that together to make that image like more complete with some atmosphere around, I think.
That's awesome. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, Nuki Wori tattoos are awesome. Obviously,
Yeah,
they're great on their own, but when you have the that background, really, that background, it's just something else. It brings a whole new dimension to the work. Awesome.
yeah, yeah.
What about, again, I know I keep saying this, but it's just because it just blows my mind that you've done so many different, subjects. So having done so many, are there any subjects or designs that you would like to tattoo, but you haven't had the chance yet?
Oh, there is many. uh, I don't know. There's so many stuff that I would like to do, but I can't pick one. I have like piles of like images on books that I never done. I don't think I'll live long enough to do them. But I guess it's just like just take it one by one. Whenever I talk to the customer, we come down to this idea. Okay, we're gonna do this one. That will be a good time for me to merge a little bit more into this character. Like try to do more research into this
Mhm.
specific one. But yeah, like I have never done like a Fujin back piece. Uh, if I can pick one, maybe uh, Ushiwa Kamaru, practicing kendo with the Tengu Kurimoyama. That would be something that I would like to do once.
Yeah. That's awesome. Okay. Yeah, we have a piece that many people might confuse for Ushiwakamaru for Yoshitsune in some of the tattoos that we're gonna see. Um, so it's very interesting that you bring that character up. It's a really
Yeah,
cool scene.
yeah. Yoshitsune is just like his name as an
Hmm.
older, in an older age. But I like the idea of like since there is so many characters, you already carry knives and weapons, and just for this guy having like a wood sword and
Hmm.
practicing, that's something that's so different from all the other characters. And just having the Tengu and having
Yeah.
him as a kid, just like being strong up there, like kicking his ass while he's practicing, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. There's this Horiyoshi the second piece of exactly what that Ushiwakamaru practicing with the thing, and then he includes the like trees and mountains and the horizon. It's just wonderful. So I agree. I'd love to see that for whoever's listening. If you can get on Rico's schedule, obviously you should definitely propose doing
Yeah.
Ushiwakamaru.
Oh, I
That'd be
love to
awesome.
hear that.
Cool. What about Suikoden? Do you have like a favorite outlaw or a favorite scene from the Suikoden?
I don't have a favorite character, but as far as imagery, maybe the Suimon Yaburi
Mm.
is pretty much like a iconic image, like pretty much has everything. Has the stiff gate in the top, has the motion guy on the bottom, has all the motion of water going through. There's so much going on. And I think you can't beat that. But all the other characters, just for having tattoos and being in a fighting scene, that's strong enough. Like all of those characters.
Awesome.
Man.
Yeah, I was before we started doing this interview, I was talking with Rico about his many great works, right? And I was having trouble just deciding how can we choose just five or six pictures, right? And the Simon
Oh,
Yaburi
thank you.
scene was one of those scenes that we really wanted to put it up, but and I'm saying this to everyone who's listening or watching, please do let me know because I was telling Rico, hey, if we do seven or eight of these pictures, which I'd love to do. Maybe it's just too much for you guys. That's what I'm thinking, but you guys let me know if So for the future, maybe we we do more. But anyway, in this case, unfortunately, you're probably gonna have to go to Rico's Instagram page. Maybe it's in there. I'm not sure, but dig it up
Somewhere.
and take a look by yourself. Awesome. All right. Well, before we take a look at some of the tattoo works, I'm wondering what can you share about your composition style and your colors?
I'm definitely not afraid of colors. I love to use colors. You just like you need to be careful not to make it look like a carnival.
Mhm.
Because if you try, depends on how you mix colors, things can look more attractive, more pleasant, or kind of odd. And that's something that I've always been very careful about. How to make things like appeal the right way, like not like throwing a bunch of colors so one is always fighting with the others. I usually, of course, there is like the black that is the main, the red that is the second, and then the other ones that will break down to it. But like I try not to use some colors that will clash the composition. I don't
Mhm.
know. Purple is very difficult to use. Gotta be very careful to use that. Some blues, but definitely like black, red, green, yellow. That's the base. Brown. I love brown. Brown to me is just like a different red. I always try to separate like warm and cold colors in a way the cold will complement the warm,
Mhm.
because the warm is the one that will show more. Cold colors are more near the black, more near the gray. So I use as a complementary to
Mhm.
the composition. But I definitely don't feel like I wanna move back in time and try to do something that is just like black and red, how they used to do back in the days. That's an
Mhm.
era that is in the past, and I don't want to deny when I'm living. And we have everything. We have all the colors. I don't use all of them. I try to limit to like a smaller range, but yeah, I definitely love to use colors.
So, well,
Nowadays, I feel that the customers are more attracted to more simple composition
uh,
as just like black and red. I think it became very popular. But it's funny when I first started studying Japanese tattoo, and of course you start to go back and see the old masters. And at that time, they were doing basically just black work or a little bit of red, and then it evolved to a little bit more red and brown, and then came the color time, all the colors. Um, and at that time, I was trying to like very very excited. I just discovered black and red. Okay, let me try to do this. And at the time, customers even here in Japan, they were
uh,
like, "Why, man? Why are you doing this?" No, no, no. I want colors. So I was glad, because honestly, it was just like I was just like wanted to do something that I could see it at the time, and I was glad they denied for that, because I honestly I do love to use colors.
yeah, it's an interesting point that because that right, most people think about that limited color palette and they think about like Daisho era style tattooers, but then you had the Showa era when the American GIs brought color to Japan, and there was an explosion of color in Japanese tattoos, right? But now, like nowadays, you see, like you mentioned, that comeback to the very limited color palette, and you got people like Orihiro in Tokyo and Oryu in Tokyo and others, right? Doing this very limited color palette. Like you said, people abroad are also eating it up, right? Because I think for most people abroad, it's might be like the opposite, right? They were introduced to colors first, and because we always had colors, and now they're discovering, oh, there was this time where there was this limited color palette and such, and now that's what they want now. But
Yeah. It's interesting. I love to see. I love to see, and of course, it's very pleasant to the eye. Like it's kind of difficult to go wrong when you have so little going on. And I think it's easier to mess it up when we start to add in more stuff,
yeah,
more colors, and but at the same time, like I say, like I recognize the black and the red as the main, and the other colors will just complement that. I feel that why not? Why not? It depends on. I guess it depends on the style of drawing as well.
yeah,
Like some styles will fit better to a more simple composition, and some others will require a little bit more. Will fit a little bit more. Like depends on the drawing, I
mhm,
guess.
yeah, yeah. That makes sense, and I agree that you know why not both, right? I love that simple color palette thing looks great. I myself have colors, which I love as well, and we're about to
Yeah, me too.
actually let me start sharing the screen so we can take a look at your awesome works and we can walk through them.
Yeah, I can see it.
Perfect. So what I do here is I'll just hand it off to you. You can talk about whatever you want, whether you want to talk about the person or you know the bodysuit or the tattoo, the colors, whatever you want to talk, and then maybe at the end I'll have some comments to add in from my side. But over to you.
Okay. This specific one is the one suit that I did by Tebori, and at that time we were kind of like thinking about the same idea that we just talked, you know, like not to go crazy about the colors. So basically, you have like a red flowers composition, and I have a very light blue flowers just to balance a little bit, you know, like it's not like to overwhelm the red. It has green as a leaf, so I just stick to the same kind of green scheme around everywhere. And yeah, my this suit it was like a great learning, you know. I could
Oh,
try the Tebori technique, and it was pretty open to do something simple. At the time, was one of the most simple things that I did, just with flowers and one God image in the back.
mhm. Awesome. Yeah, we'll take a look at the back very soon, but I just want to comment on this one on the front first, which I know went actually after the back was first, but I just it boggles my mind. It blows my mind that this was like your one Tebori project, and it's just so good. It's crazy, and I love what you did with the colors too. That very light blue, it just looks beautiful
Oh,
uh,
thank you so much.
in those flowers. And I also love the it's kind of funny the little Daruma doll in there in the
Yeah,
leg.
that's the one thing. After we did all of these simple tattoos all over the body, you know, in the very end, we had to close the inner thigh. And he was like, well, you know, after getting so much simple, he feel like he needs a little more. And I'm like, well, we still have a little room on the inner in the inside of your legs. So I put it at one little Dharma on one side, and on the other side there is like a frog. It's hard to see because of the shadow on the
Yeah.
picture, but there's the only two different subjects on these front image, you know.
Oh, that's awesome. No, this is fantastic. This is great. Let me let me go over to the back. All right.
Yeah, that's where we started. You know, we started with just the image. Uh, they didn't have any background, any flowers, anything. So that was just a first trial. And since it went well and he was happy with the result and he was still willing to get more, we progressed to the background on the back where it was kind of like a short pants in the beginning, just like the back piece with the background. And then later on we went to the arms and bring down to the muniwari on the chest and finish on the extending the leg, making this suit like a shibu on the arms and the legs. But it's kind of rare, you know. I'm
I
just
see.
lucky this guy was so open to those ideas, you know.
I mean, the both were. I don't know if luck is when you say lucky. You know, when people say lucky, it's good and it's bad. But I'm just, I guess, let's just use lucky. But you were both lucky then because this is just fantastic
No,
work. You know, it's fantastic. Just yeah, that's the one word. Um, yeah, and the shishi here, obviously, and the details on the robes, right? You did that. You were mentioning by Tebori, and again the great use of beautiful use of colors and the stones, like you mentioned. This is just really awesome, and he's very lucky
but
that he got this amazing Tebori piece that you don't really do that often, right? And it turned out
no, I
so
don't.
well.
But I
Awesome.
still feel I'm more lucky than him. Definitely.
Awesome. All right, let's see what else we got in here.
Oh, okay. This is Tara no Tomomori. I did this tattoo on a Spanish tattooer, Jaime Negro. And the first time I tattooed him was on his right arm. I did a Tengu mask on the inner forearm. Can barely see it here, and I can't see it at all. And I put the background together with some momiji, and has on the somewhere in there also the tango fan, like with the feathers. And I put together with the upper arm, and it was already like a beautiful composition, a bit more modern, but it was already like in a Japanese style, so I could put together very easily. And a few years later, we started to do the back, and it's awesome. It's an image that I always wanted to do, and I'm so glad, just from having water everywhere and a little different approach on the water flow than usual, like he's inside the water, so I try to make it like a little different composition that I usually do from water compositions.
Well, this is awesome. And yeah, what you're saying about the water, it looks like it's splashing in the right points, right? So that's pretty cool. And I love what you did. You're like a master of this light blue. It just looks fantastic. I love the light blue there on the face, and you got Taira no Tomomori, and then you got the Heikigani. For those that don't know the story, right? They say that the Heikigani are the dead soldiers of the Taira clan. So I love how you threw that in there. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I love again your colors. You were talking about the colors and how you like colors, and I really love what you're doing exactly with that. Right, the colors they're beautiful. I think that's the one word I'd like to use. So
thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was kind of tricky to do this because you already have like some tattoos on the rib cage. So for the back as well, the side that we don't really see from this picture because on the ribs, but the back piece, it does extend a little bit to the sides, but one of the sides already have a tattoo over there. So I had to incorporate it like in a way that it would still hold the integrity of that tattoo without destroying it, and putting it together. It was fun. It was pretty fun, but it was a bit tight. Always when I work on tattooers, usually they already cover with a lot of tattoos, and sometimes they get on the way of we imagine will be the final shape. But in the end, it's all good. We kind of put it together and it works.
It does work. It works really good because I also love how you connected what I'm assuming is the right arm. Obviously has a bunch of stuff from I'm guessing somebody else, but you somehow connected the background really well in there so that it looks great.
Thank you.
Awesome. I think the last thing I want to call out is just the blood. I also like what you did with the blood. It looks realistic, right? That's pretty awesome. Yeah, this is great. Awesome.
Yeah, you gotta show like the scene where he was defeated. So he's still like very angry, deep in the waters over there, holding his grudge, and little blood definitely make things more vivid and more, I don't know, more dramatic, let's say like that.
Awesome. Cool. All right. Let's move on. All right.
Okay. This one is Momotaro. When he's on the Oni Island, he just like defeated the Onis. There's no Oni on the picture, but you can see the top of the island on the left side, on the shoulder, where it still show a little bit of the mountains on the island over there. And he have his friends, the monkey, the bird, and the dog. And on the left leg, we put like the treasures that he conquered back. So he's just like, it's the scene that he's like, okay, we got it, we beat them. And that was a composition with Shion. We did it together. This customer is very tough. So when we do composition, it's always a little bit different than what I normally do and what she normally does. And it ended up being something a bit unexpected for both of us. But usually the result, it's very cool. We enjoy a lot. Also, on this guy, he came in the first time, he had already some tattoos on his left arm that I had to kind of like cover some, fix some, put together. And after finishing the arm, we did the other arm where he was like a Ryugoi, like the koi turned into a dragon, and just complementing with chrysanthemums around. But for the back, we didn't add any flowers. There is so much going on. We tried to keep a bit more bold than if we had flowers, it might have been too much.
Awesome. Yeah, no, it's one of my favorite works. I mean, there's just a lot. There's many works that you've done that I really like, but it's one of my favorites because of the Momotaro, the story and the companions, like you mentioned, they're in here, the treasures in there. Uh, I love what you did with the background of the mountain, right? So you can actually see like scenery, right? Landscape in there. And the chrysanthemum, I like the different styles of the chrysanthemum, right? You look at the left and actually also on the right on the bottom. And then on the right arm, a little bit up, different styles, but they obviously complement each other. They look very good. And no, this is awesome. I don't think I see that many Momotaro works outside of
Yeah.
Japan.
Yeah, I don't know. I had the chance to do one by myself before on a customer from here, and it was pretty cool, but it was more like design after the ukiyo-e. So
Good.
they already have like a certain shape that I wanted to keep in the image, but this one is just more of a creation that doesn't you can't find that. So it's a bit more challenging, but definitely after doing one Momotaro, I have a little bit of experience to doing
Good.
that and makes things a little bit more easier. But I definitely love when you're having the character, either they wearing tattoos or the kimono has some cool patterns and just make things very rich and
Yeah, no,
look right, I guess.
yeah, no, 100%. I love the patterns on the clothing as well. And by the way, I just noticed I love this. I love to look for little details. So if people I wish they could see where I'm putting the mouse, the cursor. But if they look at the banner that the monkey's holding, you can see the monkey's hand. That's pretty funny.
Oh
Like
yeah,
up
that's
top,
true.
yeah, that's pretty cool to see that. And like you said, I love all the details, the bird, I think it's a pheasant, the details and on the bird and the colors and everything just works so well together. Rico original. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, love to see it. Awesome.
Nice. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Cool. All right, let's see what else we have in here.
Oh, this one. Yeah, this one is more of a recent work. Um, Now we already I already worked on his arms, still going. I worked on his front and what is still going. And next will be the legs, but I have some cover ups to do down the legs. But when he came to me and he just wanted to have like some very gory image and like a mean Oni, just mean. So we're talking about okay, blood. So like, yeah, blood, put blood. So he likes like scary images. So I tried to make it as scary as I could. There's a lot of like blood stains on the knife, on his clothes. Um, I would just try to do something that is a little different because the Red Oni is such a common character. Uh, I feel like since I have the chance to do it, I might as well try to make something unique and try to do something that I haven't done before, like on his clothes. I try to make it he's wearing like animal or skin rather than just like a kimono pattern as he originally talked about. But after we discussed this idea, he was down with the idea of putting something that is more like near nature, like
And
what people would wear back in the days if they are on the wild, on the mountains, on the cold. They always have like some deer skin or something to warm them up. So I try to make a scene where the like this one is mean and there's like the weather is not so nice. There's thunders in the back. There is wind blowing. He's near the place where he keep all of his like his dead people, and we will go from there. Like the front, he have like a big snake with a skull, with a with some sotoba and some grass around. So it's very scary. The whole thing is very scary. So I put a little bit of he also talked about that he would like to have something to balance, and I'm like, yeah, that's definitely good, man. Since it's so mean, we can do something to balance a little bit, something good in between. So on his right arm, we did like a prayer,
Yeah.
and with some clouds and background, very simple, very bold, and I like a lot the result. Maybe this one is the most like black and red piece that I have, but still, you see green, you see yellow, you see
Mhm.
it all.
This is awesome. And it's kind of funny if we the previous picture was Momotaro, he had beat the Demon King, and it looks like the Demon King survived. He's right here. So the demon's still killing people, going around killing people. No, this is awesome. Super gory. I love what you say, you can see the severed head and then the blood is like dripping on this skull. It's pretty nasty. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then like you were saying, the animal skins. I love to see that on because like you said, it's like more like really traditional in the sense of like real, right? It's the clothes that people would actually wear, right? That you would imagine as well. So I love to see that animal skin in there being worn by the Oni, and then you see the like the fangs or whatever. He has a necklace with skulls and fangs and
Yes.
stuff. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, I love the skulls as well. Like they look pretty cool. It's a very powerful piece. I was looking at it on your Instagram page. I don't think the like this particular picture is in there. I think there's like a previous iteration, like a previous version when you were still working on it. So I'm
Mhm.
glad that we were able to show the full back piece because it's just so powerful.
Yeah, I can't wait when we have like the whole suit together because once it's all done, everything's gonna make a lot of sense, you know.
Yeah, awesome.
Mhm.
This
I
is
feel
great.
like a lot of people nowadays, not only nowadays, always been like that, but gory images and like bloody images, always being something that attracts some customers, not
Yeah.
everybody. We're always being present, you know, like in tattooing, and I enjoy a lot. I think it's cool. I would just like trying to incorporate elements that I haven't seen before, so try to open the range of possibilities.
Maybe.
And like this piece is not out of OKOA, it's not out of a specific imagery, so I had to create, so I have a little bit more freedom to
Mhm.
incorporate these elements, and I don't know. Hopefully, it will be for the best.
No, no, for sure, 100%. I mean, the Rico originals are always fantastic. And by the way, I think I see a rib
Thank you.
cage in there. That's hilarious. You did like a little rib cage in there.
Yes, yes.
That's funny. That's great.
Um, because I feel like I wanted to put some more bones, and like
Yeah.
you can't really see here, but under the skull there is like one like a long bone over there, and but it just like becomes like difficult to read sometimes. The
Mm.
reads very readable from far, and it just gives the idea of being like a bunch of skulls thrown over there on the rocks, and something that's been there for a long time, you know, like
Mm.
birds already been through. There's no more meat in it. It's just a bone plate. It's fun. It's fun to work. I always like to incorporate with a little bit of like grass around and like some
Mm.
kind of vegetation because you can add more flow and you can see the wind sometimes through how things move, you know. And since the bones are so stiff, like to have something that is more flexible, I like a lot.
Yeah. No, I like it. I like it too. That it provides that little bit of color, of additional color that's just right. That makes it look very cool. Awesome.
Cool. Thank
Well,
you.
all right. I think we might have Yeah, I think it's the last one.
Okay. This one is a bit older. This customer that already pretty much finished the whole suit. We extended the arms, we extended the legs, we did some ghosts on the legs. We did some yokai on the forearms. He already had the arms before. It wasn't done by me. I just
Yeah.
went back and fixed the contrast between the black and the gray. It was very gray before. That's something that I see a lot up here in the north of Japan, you know, a lot of like gray tattoos. And when it comes to me, okay, let's tone that up and bring the black to the right
Mm.
tone. But this guy, he likes rare titles. So the when he came to me, we were talking about he wants to get some kind of ninja figure on the back. So I showed a couple, but he didn't want to have like the average, the most famous one, Jiraiya, for example, riding the frog. He wanted to get something a little bit more rare. So he came up to this one, and it was a challenge because it has like 3 characters in it. So how can I make the characters be present and still somehow on the right scale? So I had to put like the tangles coming from behind him and behind the rocks on the bottom. So it doesn't really have a full body, but it does pass the idea that
Mm.
he is like doing his magic, and the tangle is showing up at that moment. That was
Awesome.
it.
I know this is fantastic. I really like this one. You know, you see the Karasu thing in there. I love what you did with the wings. They look very, very cool. I love what you did also with, I'm talking about the one on top, but then also the one in the bottom. That blue, I don't know, your choice, your selections for the blues are great. That light blue, I don't know, I like it a lot. So on the clothing of the bottom thing, that looks very cool. And then you have the koso. Koso is like boy in Japanese, right? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so very cool piece. I love to see Tengu pieces. They have this power and this connection with nature, and I don't know, it's just look fantastic.
Definitely
Yes.
something that you can see a lot in the not only in the temples. In the temples you have too, but sometimes when you go to mountains and they
Hmm.
still have some some uh some remaining shrines or some like mountain religion. They relate a lot to Tengu powers and nature powers. I guess Tengu represents some of those nature powers, and just like those like unexpected things that can happen when you are out in the woods. You know, everything sounds a little scary. Everything, you know, like feels a little bit more fresh. The sun and the wind and everything is more intense. So the Tengu, I think, represents that a lot. I've been to quite a few mountains that they will have like little temples up there, and they will
Hmm.
have Tengus around, and it's pretty cool, man. It's something that always fascinates me a lot.
Awesome. Yeah, I really like the Tengu theme and folklore as well. So love to see more works featuring Tengu. And again, just about before we close this one out, I love again all the colors. You're obviously extremely good with your colors and then the patterns of the clothing as well, right? You see the scroll, also the again that blue and the green looks just really good. You even incorporated some purple, which you mentioned is a little harder to incorporate, right? But you made it work.
Yeah,
So, oh, this is awesome. This is
it
great.
is a tricky color. It was funny because this image specifically comes from ukiyo-e. It doesn't really have the tengus around. I don't know. It's been a long time that I looked through. Maybe it does have some. Not sure. But all the writing on the scroll, it was something that I just came up with. So I made something that will look somehow of an Asian calligraphy, but not
Mhm.
really Japanese. I don't want to really write something over there, especially if I don't know what it says.
Mhm.
So I just made some kind of language that looked like a language to make the piece look cool, but it's not something that people can read. But I think it's cool because if they can read, they might get stuck to the words more than the
Mhm.
image. So it just kind of like it just complement the image. It's just
Yeah.
noise, but it doesn't really. But that
Cool.
was the fun part of it. How can I come up with that language? That was crazy.
That's so fun. Yeah, no, it looks legit. It looks legit. That's cool.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. This was the last picture. Like I was saying, before we continue the conversation, but like I was saying, there's so many great works that I had a lot of trouble just choosing these that we looked at. So I encourage everyone to go to Rico's Instagram page and check everything he has in there. It's very cool.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Cool. All right. So just continuing with the line of questioning, do you have like any specific influences, whether it's like ukiyo-e artists, right, or maybe tattooers, or I don't know, or books or whatever? Are there any specific things that really influenced your current style?
Well, I guess like you say, like ukiyo-e is the base of everything, like
Hmm.
pretty much Japanese tattooing, like it's inspired out of this original ukiyo-e, but it doesn't really need to have like reproductions of that, like that is like some stuff that we can do to make those images a little bit more into the tattoo language, like you gotta be simplified to some point, like clean up a little bit so things are not too busy, and you need to be distorted in a way that the image will fit the body well. If you just get the image from the book
Hmm.
and you make a stencil and put it on skin, it's weak, it doesn't have the right proportion. We gotta play with that. And but I guess I've been influenced pretty much with everybody that I work with. Everybody has their own view and definitely different than mine. But I think the person that influenced me the most is maybe Shion,
Hmm.
my wife, my partner, the person that I work with the most time. And we always discuss about the designs and talk about possibilities. And even if it's not only when it's like a collaboration piece, but even if it's just like my piece or her piece, we always talk about possibilities just in case one of us are not seeing this idea. Try to be as open as we can in the beginning till we find the direction we want to go, and then we just go that way.
Hmm.
um Maybe even Sazi for like making the first sparkle into Japanese tattoo. I was already tattooing quite a few years before, but I didn't have that much interest in Japanese tattoo in the beginning. I guess it was too far from me. I come from a
Hmm.
different world. And back then, like new school was pretty cool. All of the graffiti, skateboarding. I mean, I started very young. So even was one guy that opened my eyes to that. But after come to Japan, I visit as many people as I could, get in touch with just trying to be in touch with Japanese tattooing.
Hmm.
And there was one time when I visited Yokosuka Horihide, and I went to visit him, and I was so impressed with the way he was doing things. Like he looked like every time that I go there, that I took like a time machine. Man. It was
Hmm.
so different how we do nowadays, and he was still like doing alone and doing his own ways, and very different everything. But it was very very impressed to me
Hmm.
the way he could do put this together. You go into his studio and it was like covered with pictures of like suits, and everything just looks so authentic. And I'm like, that's what I want to do, man. I want to do something that is authentic, that look like not only will look original, but that my customers can be proud to wear.
Hmm.
So I struggle and still trying, not easy. It's always a big challenge.
That's awesome. Oh, I think you're succeeding in your journey, obviously. I mean, we already witnessed a lot of your great compositions. Awesome.
this pursuit never ends. I
Yeah.
mean, you gotta keep on trying. I feel like even when it's a title that I already did it a few times, I don't want to just do it one more time and just I want to challenge. I want to try to trick it a little bit. Try to, okay, what did I miss it on this piece that I can try to make it happen in that one? And sometimes happen better than the others, but in the overall, I guess I'm just happy with the result. That's the best that I can do. So
So- Oh, awesome, awesome. That's really great to hear, right? It's like you said, never-ending journey of self-improvement, if you will. Well,
yeah,
all right.
definitely.
Well, shifting to a more, let's say, human topic or people topic, what is your view on the Horishi client bond while you're tattooing and then after the work is done?
I usually have a very good relationship with my customers. People are, of course, they are coming to me, so they have something that attract them to be here. I find usually people very easygoing, and once they want to get something, that's the sparkle that I need. Okay, so at first I'll try to figure out what they want, how they really want these. I still make like some questions just to make sure, like, sure you don't really like these? Are you sure you like these more than that? And sometimes people will be like, actually not really.
Okay.
I like these too. So I try to be very open in the beginning so I can narrow down in the end. But of course, when they are getting tattooed, they are coming here and we have a good relationship and they have the drive to come around. But once the work is done, I see that don't mean like we cut relationship, but the work is over. No, the main interest is done and people do carry on with their lives.
Mm.
But it's definitely glad when an old customer visit and or step by or send me a letter or something. I don't know. It's cool. Very cool. I like to see that they they see me and they see the experience that they had here as a good thing.
Really?
They carry love. They carry the love that I put into the work, and I carry they just feel the vibe. I guess is the right thing.
Awesome. Oh, that's great. And I also like how you mentioned, making sure that they discover or you help them in that journey of discovery of what they really want to get, right? And then obviously you help them make that a reality and in making that come to life. So that's awesome. On another note, though, I've talked to many Horishi from all across the world. I think I mentioned it earlier in the conversation that David Ramirez, who I interviewed a couple of weeks ago, spoke really highly of you and how you've helped him a lot. I think what Rodrigo was also saying, how awesome you are. I've heard it from many different people, and so I'm wondering what drives you to like support others.
Oh man, these people are too kind. They're good friends, and I don't know, man. I guess like I'm lucky in a way that everywhere that I work and everybody that I work with or I got in touch with, everybody was pretty open to me, and I feel like it's just a natural flow. Like once I see people that are interested in some stuff, I get excited and I want to talk about. We want to share what we know about this and that, and I don't know. It's just very exciting to talk about tattoos. Always been, like we live these, 24/7. So when you find somebody that has like the same kind of drive as you, it's like a party, like we just want to like celebrate it. We want to talk about it. We want to wear it. We want to do it. We want everything that relates to it. It's very natural, I guess.
Yeah,
I'm lucky
awesome.
that I have a lot of tattooers come to me, so it's
Mm,
very very easy to talk with tattooers about that. Not every customer will have that much interest on it.
yeah,
A lot of customers they will be more focused on what they want specifically, and that's it. Some guys are more open-minded, but usually tattooers they are just curious. Just our nature. We wanna. There's so much stuff that we don't know. We want to know more and more and
mhm.
more. Find somebody that knows something that or not only that you don't know, but has a different point of view than you. I think it's very exciting, very interesting.
Awesome. Yes, awesome. That's great. All right. I have one more question for you before we wrap up. It's been a great conversation, but we talked about your upbringings, if you will, in the tattooing world, and then we talked about some of the awesome work that you're doing now. What's next in the foreseeable future for you?
Oh, in the future, I don't know. I don't think I have something specific planned on. I really don't. At the moment, I kind of slowed down a little bit of the traveling, and that was something that I've been wanted to do because I've been traveling a lot
Good.
for the past 20 years, being everywhere that I could. And as much as exciting to do it and fun to do it, it takes a lot out of me.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of planning and it's a lot of time away from home, and you break a routine. Actually, never really had a routine before. Nowadays, start to have more of a routine. It's kind of fun. So I guess I'll just try to take it easy, enjoy life, and try my best to come out with the best tattoos I can for these people that contact me. Make them happy. I'll be happy that way.
Awesome. Yeah, that's the way to live, right? Enjoy life one step at a time and just take it easy.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's important, like to keep the passion, like to keep
Yeah.
like exciting, to keep this energy, like be ready to have like the my full energy to give to the client when they are here. If I'm overwhelmed with work or if my life is too busy, I feel like it's difficult to do my best. There's only so much we can do.
Yeah.
But if I'm more centered, if I have more room, my mind space, and I feel happy, that will reflect on my work, and my work will stay with them. So I try not to make mistakes. I try to always put like the best vibes when I'm working. Uh, when I'm drawing, I always think like, this person like really enjoy this, like I try to make something that they'll be proud to wear forever, and definitely carry a good vibe in it,
Yeah.
like that's important to input on work.
Mm. Sounds wise words, right? That balance, finding that balance within oneself, so you can put your best foot forward is just critical. And the vibes and the work, right, being top notch. Awesome. Well, Rico, it's been a pleasure. Love your work. Love your vibes. You seem like a really chill guy, but obviously passionate and,
Thank
and
you.
very, talented. So thank you very much for really investing the time with me here. I'm sure everyone's gonna love this interview when it comes out. So again, thank you. Thank you very
Oh
much.
no, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, man. I'm happy that you contact and that I could see Waboripedia. I wasn't aware of this before, and I start seeing it now, and it's very cool to see other people's take into this. Japanese tattooing is a very passionate thing to me, and I can see that not only me, like many other people carry this like very strong in their heart, and that encouraged me. That gave me a lot of power to see people being excited about this. Definitely a good thing.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much, Ben. And yeah, wishing you the very best of success.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
If you would like to learn more about the world of traditional Japanese tattooing, follow the Waboripedia Instagram page, hit like and subscribe in the YouTube and Spotify channels, and stay tuned for the meanings and stories behind Japanese tattooing, Horishi interviews, and more.